Hello Paget 5th graders. We are going to start our Tag Art Fundraiser. Tag Art is a fundraiser that 5th grade does throughout all of Polk County. So every 5th grader in Polk County participates in this fundraiser, and it helps support our art programs. So anything that you order for your tags or any key fobs that you're going to order from this fundraiser is going to help support buying supplies for Paget Patriot Art program. So what it is a tag that you are going to design, and it is metal, so it's very durable, and it will go on the front of a card. Now this does not replace your parent's tag that goes on the back of their card, but it is a decorative tag that they can use on the front of their card. And so there are some rules for this design that we will cover in just a minute. You are going to be submitting a couple of ideas and plans to me at the end of this lesson for what you would like to do in your design. The topic is up to you, but there are some ideas or some themes that you can use to have a starting place. These are all sponsored by the sponsors of the Tag Art program. A sponsor just means that these companies have donated money so the program is possible. So the Home Sweet Home Award is the first one. So if you want to do a theme of Home Sweet Home, you could possibly win an award for each of these themes. Home Sweet Home could mean anything. It's just a theme. So whatever Home Sweet Home means to you, it does not necessarily have to be a picture of a house. Design Excellence Award is a design that whose design represents unique, interpretive, abstract art with clean lines and good execution. So this one is one if you want to do an abstract design that does not necessarily have to be a landscape or a portrait or some other realistic item. Build Your Imagination Award is the Legoland Award. So if you want to do a Lego themed picture, you may do that. Make sure that when you're drawing it that it's going to have to actually look like Legos, and this is the only exception to one rule that we will talk about in just a few minutes. You can do Legos, which are kind of a copywritten idea. Some of the like the Lego people are kind of a copyright thing, so that's technically the one exception that we have to our copyright rule that we'll discuss in just a moment. So we can make a Lego themed picture. Another one is the Heart Smart Award, which is honoring a student's design that best illustrates how a healthy lifestyle might be depicted. So you are going to, if you want to do this theme, it could be anything about healthy living, exercise, eating healthy, whatever that means to you in a picture, okay? And Love and Hope Award. So this one is illustrating love, hopefulness, and happiness. Whatever that means to you. I'm going to have some examples of these themes that I'll put in here of past designs from other students so you can get some ideas, but I'm just going to list them now. There are two more. The next one is Driving Our Community Award. This one is sponsored by Bartow Ford. It represents a student whose design best illustrates Ford's tagline of integrity, trust, and honesty. So a theme of integrity, trust, and honesty. How could you illustrate that in a picture? And the last one is the Tax Collector's Choice Award. So this one could be any kind of design. It is the choice of the tax collector. He will pick one that he thinks is most exemplary. So if you want to do one of those themes, you may pick one of those themes as a starting place. But you can do anything that you want, but there are some rules. So the first thing that we must keep in mind is that we have to have a sense of space in our picture. So having overlapping, maybe a horizon line in a landscape, having things bigger in the front, smaller in the back to create that sense of space. We are going to be creating a focal point. That's where we're going to tie in the assignment that we did last week, and we are going to use some of those techniques to create a focal point. So some item or picture in your design that is the most important thing. Another thing, we cannot have any words in our picture, so the subject should not be words. We can't just do some bubble letters. It's got to be a picture we're illustrating something. If we want to describe something or do one of these themes, we've got to find a way to do it with our pictures, because of course this is an art contest. And of course we're back to our copyright subject. It's got to be your own ideas. So the idea of copyright is that some ideas are owned by people. So things like SpongeBob or other designs that exist, cartoon characters, football teams, any logo that already exists that is someone else's idea is going to be off limits. It has to be something of your own idea. So any kind of picture that is of nature, you can of course draw any kind of animal or landscape or anything like that, but it just has to be your own ideas. And of course the last thing is that it has to have good craftsmanship. If it is not finished or if it is done messy, then it is not going to be scanned and put up on the website to be ordered. Everyone in the county, really anyone on the internet, can go on this site and see these pictures from our school, and the Tag Art program has a very high level of expectation for these artworks. So if your artwork does not meet their requirements as far as craftsmanship, then it won't be scanned. It's not up to me, it is up to them. So please try to do your best to create neat, clean designs that are meant to be seen from far away. So let's look at some more examples here. So this other one that I showed already is a good example. It is a landscape. It has some items in the foreground here. We've got some items in the middle ground, and we have some faraway mountains in the background. This person has used marker to outline all of the design so that they can clearly be seen from far away, and they used some crayon, color pencil, maybe a little bit of marker in some places to blend and to very nicely and solid fill in the design. Notice that there are some logos that are going to get printed here. Those will be on all of the tags if they get printed, so try and make sure that this middle section does not have anything important there. You'll see in a few of the tags that this covers up some of the design, so you'll want to pay attention to that area and not put anything important there. Another example of some really good craftsmanship is this one right here. These are all students from Paget. They send me the best two for free for me to keep as examples every year. So this one of course has a focal point of a house. She used framing with the two trees on either side to frame around the house to emphasize the house. And of course we have some mountains in the background. The colored pencil craftsmanship is very solid and dark and neat. And they've used some value, some shading to show shadows on the tree side here, and there's lots of nice texture and detail where it is needed. These black outlines are nice and bold, which help make the house stand out. These are good practice things that we should be doing. This design from a previous year also is an example of how you can tell a story with your picture. This is a storm with a lightning strike, and we've got a tornado and a house there. So there's a lot going on in this one, but just an example of how we can tell a story. And we've got different textures here, but we still have good craftsmanship. So things that need to be solid are nice and solid. We've got some blending, some textures, and everything is very neat. You can see some kind of marks here, so as whatever your paper looks like when they scan it, that's what it will look like on this tag. Now there are some here that I have that we need to talk about that are not so good examples. Like this one is was a pretty nice design, but we can see where the craftsmanship was not as nice as it could have been. These edges where the coloring should have met could have been smoother. And there's no clear focal point. There's not one item that stands out as the most important thing. This one was an excellent drawing that the student did. However, when they colored it in, the coloring was so light. It looked good on the paper, but when it was scanned and printed on this tag, it looked a lot more scribbly than it really was on the paper. So you'll really want to try and press hard and really saturate the paper with your colors so that those colors stand out and are really bright and able to be seen from far away. Another one here, we've got pretty good craftsmanship, but again, no clear focal point. The ducks get covered up by our logo. They could have been a little higher up and maybe one prominently positioned on the lawn. Right now our bench becomes the focal point, but nothing's really happening there, so it's not quite as interesting of a focal point. In this one, they used good marker craftsmanship as well, but the items are drawn so small that it's hard to see. So these little sailboats are difficult to see. So we want to try and draw things that are much bigger. And if we're doing water and sky, we want to maybe separate those colors a little bit, maybe do two different colors so that those two areas are visually different. Another really nice example I have is this one here. They had a nice design for the sky, excellent marker and color pencil craftsmanship, but again, the items were drawn so small that it becomes difficult to see from far away. So things to keep in mind there for good and bad techniques for these tag designs. Now, I know you're going to ask about the price. I'll post this in the assignment as well in text, but the prices for the tags are $17 for $17.50 for a standard pack, which includes one tag and one keychain version of the artwork. A single tag by itself is $15, and a keychain key fob is $5. The majority of that money becomes profit for the school, so $10 of the standard pack, $8 of the single tag, and $2.33 of the key fob all come directly back to the art program to support our art program here. Let's see what else we have to cover here. So after you submit your plans to me in Schoology, so I'm going to want a picture of your plans. We're going to need to draw them a specific size to make sure that they fit on the form when you do the final one. So the final paper that you're going to be doing your design on will look like this. And the size of this is 12.3 inches by 6.3 inches. So we need to make our plans to scale so that it's a sized down version of this rectangle. So your plans, you're going to need to use a ruler and draw out a rectangle that shows, we'll do 6 by 3 rectangles for our plans. So you want to draw your plan inside of a rectangle 6 by 3, and I'll have all these specific directions down in the assignment. Let's see what else. So after you've gotten your plan submitted in Schoology, I will give you some feedback and give you some suggestions on how to make the plan better, maybe how to emphasize your focal point. And then there are some different ways that we can get this form. You'll need to try and either pick this form up from the office. Starting December 7th, I will have them on a stack in the counter in the office up there. So if you want to participate in the actual fundraiser, you'll need to actually get this form. If for some reason you can't get the form or you can't get into school during the school hours, you can try and make a form yourself and just do your artwork on a white sheet of paper of the same dimensions. So you'll need to cut a rectangle of paper that is 12.3 by 6.3 inches, and try and do your design on that piece of paper, and then you'll have to send that in to me before February. So we'll try and have this finished by the end of January, so a fully colored and complete image turned in by the end of January. If you're doing the option of doing it on your own paper, then what I'll do is I'll just glue it onto this form and I will send it in for you. Of course, make sure that anything that you do is going to need to have your name on it down there, and there's also a piece of a place for the teacher's name. You can put Quinn/Jones if you want to put that there. And when you're doing your name, please do your first and last name. And the student work ID number is for me to fill out. So this space you will leave blank. You don't need to put anything in the student ID space there. That is for me to put a number for the order of the submissions. Let's see. Alright, I think that's all the information. Just I wanted to give you guys a quick overview. Again, all of this information will be in the assignments in Schoology, written in text as well, and I'll try to remind you maybe in some other videos of the examples and things that you're going to need to have. But this was just an introduction of tag art. If you want to look, if you have not already done so, you want to go to polktaxes.com. That's polktaxes.com, and at the top there'll be a little button for tag art with the drop down, and you can look at previous images from other years from students that have done other tag designs. I think you can probably look at the winners of the awards from previous years and see a little bit more information about how it works. So look forward to that. We will be getting multiple grades for this assignment, so even if you don't plan to participate in the tag, the actual buying of the tag and the fundraiser itself, we are still going to be getting a grade on this, and this is a pretty rigorous assignment that I do to really focus in on how to make focal points and good craftsmanship and just good overall techniques. So I look forward to seeing all of your designs. Maybe start thinking about what you want to do, and I look forward to seeing them.